Grab your cup. You know the phrase in order to? In order to means I'm going to do something so that I have a particular result. A lot of people choose their relationships, even the people that they marry, as in order to. We're looking for certain conditions to be met. We're looking in order to make sure, fill in the blank. So there's a problem with that because people will never meet your conditions all the time. People will never be able to be your in order to. So if you choose someone based on that, you're always going to be left unfulfilled, left suffering, and there'll be damage to the relationship. So let's talk about that a little more. I have totally done this. I have chosen my relationships as in order to fulfill something. So I'm speaking from personal experience and from the training that I've gotten, and with all the clients that I've worked with, I can see it. So try on this conversation for your own life, okay? There's the conscious boxes that we check off when we choose a relationship, like they make a certain amount of money, they look a certain way, they want the same things, they want 3 kids just like I do. There's all of that conscious stuff. They make me laugh. So they check off these boxes, but then you also have subconscious boxes that you're checking off, whether you're aware of it or not. Subconscious means pretty much we're not aware of it. You might have an inkling about it. You might have heard that voice in your head. Things like, well, out of everybody I dated, they treated me the best, so I'm going to pick them. Or they really will make sure I'm taken care of, so I'm going to pick them. You notice there's nothing there about I love them, but they take care of me, they treat me the best, like that. So those are the subconscious boxes that can be the most damaging, because those are the conditions. That's loving someone conditionally. That's not loving someone unconditionally, right? It's as long as you're checking these boxes, as long as you continue to be the one to take care of me, then I'm going to show you love. As soon as I feel like you're not taking care of me, whatever your criteria for taking care of means. So is it making a certain amount of money? Is it taking care of your physical needs? Is it doing everything that I ask you? When I ask you to do something, you should do it because you're my partner. Is that your criteria? Because then the second that person is not doing that, number one, that's when our suffering starts. When we have expectations that are not being met, unfulfilled expectations is the root of suffering. And number two, that's when we start to justify, well, I can have an affair. If you're not going to take care of me, then I can go have an affair. Or if you're not going to bring in enough money, I'm going to stop showing you affection. Why should I? You're not doing the thing that I expected you to do. So both sides can become very conditional in how we treat each other and how we express love. So you can see it can become a really big problem, right? Now, where does it all start? When you have those conditions, when you're looking for someone to meet the conditions, the subconscious ones in particular, because I get it, when we meet people, we are looking for, am I attracted to them? Do we want the same things out of life, right? There is a criteria to decide whether you're going to keep seeing someone or not. But when you have these subconscious beliefs that are driving the relationship, and now you've married them, or you've been in a long-term relationship, maybe you married them and now you're divorced because the conditions kept not being met often enough that you took your love away. You justified, I'm not going to show you that I love you because you're just not doing what I want you to do. And or they took their love away. Maybe they went and had an affair. Maybe you just stopped talking to each other because we're not meeting each other's expectations. That's where all the damage happens. And whether you're in that kind of relationship, or you were and you want to make sure you don't get into another one, the place to look is those subconscious conditions that you have, because those got created when you're very young, just like everything else. Everything about our identity, who we are, how we see ourselves, how we relate to ourselves, then determines how we relate to the world and to other people. So if you have a relationship with yourself, I can't do life myself. I need somebody else to do it for me. I need somebody to take care of me. If you have a relationship with yourself, I'm not really lovable, then you're looking for someone to always make you feel lovable. Like that's their job, because you didn't do it for yourself. You don't know how to do it for yourself. Anything like that is going to be really from your own foundational identity and the way you put that together based on what happened to you. So that's the place to look. If your relationships have felt very conditional, if you're doing things as in order to, and it's just really looking in the mirror right now, like in this conversation, just really look. Am I conditional with the people I'm in relationship with? Am I judging how well they're meeting my expectations? And then when they're not, I punish them in some way. I take my love away. I make sure they know they fell short. I make sure they know that I'm not happy with how they're doing it. That is a recipe for disaster. That's the formula that is going to kill the relationship. And if that's the formula that you know how to operate on, you're going to bring it into the next relationship. So if you can see that pattern in your life, if you can see how conditional, how you're doing everything as in order to, by the way, it might not only be romantic partners, it might be people. If you're like, yeah, I keep doing this, I'm waiting to see them change, I'm waiting to see them step up because I keep being the one, that's in order to. That's a way of just judging what everybody else is doing. And that comes from our own woundedness. It's very common, but it comes from our own woundedness. So drop a comment, send me a message if you can see that pattern in your life and you really want to figure out how to break that so that you can be free and you're in loving unconditionally, leaving your conditions, your expectations, and your in order to's away so you can open your heart and freely love yourself and the people that you have in your life. Have a good day.